From Zakham to Shifa. Too sensitive or too harsh? Assalamu alaikum, beautiful souls, and welcome back to From Zakham to Shifa, our place of gentle honesty where we hold the mirror to our hearts without judgment or defense. Today's conversation sits in that uncomfortable in-between. When we are hurt by someone's words or actions, how do we know if we are genuinely being mistreated or if we are viewing the moment through our own heightened sensitivity? Maybe it's your parents' tone that still feels too sharp. Maybe it's your sibling who keeps saying, "You always overreact." Maybe it's you realizing you have pulled away from people you love because every interaction leaves you feeling raw. Are they truly hurtful, or are we carrying unhealed parts of ourselves that keep turning every touch into a bruise? That's what we will explore today, not to take sides, but to find balance. The mirror of reaction. Every emotion we feel is information. Anger, sadness, defensiveness. They're like notifications from the soul, but not every notification is the full story. Psychologists talk about emotional filtering, how past experiences shape the way we interpret present events. If you grew up in a home where love came wrapped in criticism, even neutral feedback can feel like rejection. If you have been invalidated before, even a calm disagreement can sound like attack. Before deciding that someone is cruel, it helps to pause and ask, am I reacting to what's in front of me or to something old that this moment has touched? That pause does not dismiss your feelings. It deepens them. It moves you from reaction to reflection. Sometimes what we call being sensitive is actually our nervous system remembering old pain. The science of the pause. Neuroscience shows that when we feel triggered, the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, lights up within milliseconds. Blood rushes away from the parts responsible for reasoning. That's why arguments with loved ones spiral fast. We lose access to logic before we even realize it. But with a single deep breath, a 5-second inhale, 7-second exhale, the parasympathetic system steps in. Heart rate slows, and the prefrontal cortex, the seat of judgment, switches back on. In that physiological pause lies spiritual clarity. It's a modern language for what the Prophet, peace be upon him, meant when he said, "When one of you becomes angry, let him remain silent." Silence is not suppression, it is space. The space where understanding can enter. When sensitivity protects and when it distorts. Sensitivity is a double-edged gift. It makes us empathetic, able to sense tension before it surfaces. But left unchecked, it can magnify every signal until even small gestures feel threatening. Ask yourself 3 gentle questions. Is the hurt repeated or occasional? A one-time harsh word may reflect someone's bad day. A pattern shows disregard. Have I clearly expressed how I feel? People cannot honor boundaries they do not know that exist. Do I leave the conversation lighter or heavier? If connection feels you perpetually anxious, something deeper needs addressing. Sometimes we realize we have been expecting others to handle us like glass, not because they are rough, but because we are still healing from the last shatter. That's when sensitivity becomes an invitation to strengthen from within, not a verdict against others, when they truly cross the line. Of course, there are moments when the issue isn't our perception, it's their behavior. Psychological research on verbal aggression shows that chronic criticism, sarcasm, or emotional dismissal rewires the stress response, leading to fatigue and low self-esteem. If someone constantly mocks your feelings or turns every vulnerability into ammunition, that's not you being too sensitive. That's emotional harm. And Islam does not glorify enduring harm in silence. The Quran calls believers those who stand up for justice, even against themselves or their kin. Standing up does not always mean confrontation. Sometimes it's gentle boundary, sometimes quiet distance, sometimes dua mixed with wisdom. The key is intention. We withdraw not to punish, but to preserve what's left of compassion, family, faith, and the gray area. Family makes this harder because family ties are sacred, but they can also be sites of pain. Many of us wonder, if I pull back, am I dishonoring my parents? Or if I stay quiet, am I betraying myself? The answer isn't always simple. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, maintained ties even with the relatives who rejected him. But he also set boundaries of behavior. Faith calls for balance. Maintain respect, but not at the expense of mental harm. In psychology, this balance is called differentiation. Staying connected without being consumed. It means you can love your family and still say, that way of speaking hurts me. You can attend the gathering, but step outside when tension rises. You can forgive without forgetting lessons. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to stay present without armor, and yet without surrender. Finding unbalanced clarity. So how do we know truly whether it is us or them? We start with curiosity instead of certainty. Write down what happened as if you were an observer. Then ask, if someone I love told me this story, how would I see it? That small shift removes ego from the center and brings truth into focus. Sometimes journaling or talking to a neutral friend, a counselor, or an imam can reveal blind spots because our minds love patterns that protect our pride. A neutral ear helps separate memory from moment. And then ask Allah for basira, inner sight. The Quran says, indeed, it is not the eyes that are blind, but the hearts within the chests. This verse is an invitation to see beyond pain, to discern what's real beneath emotion, coming back to balance. So maybe the truth is this: sometimes we are too sensitive, and that's okay. It just means there's healing left to do. And sometimes others truly are too harsh, and that's okay too. It just means we must guard our peace with grace, not bitterness. The goal isn't to win the story of who is right. It is to arrive at understanding, the kind that lets both the relationship and the heart rest. And here's something you can quietly ask yourself tonight. When I look back at the people who have hurt me, am I seeking fairness, or am I still seeking proof that my pain matters? Because sometimes What we truly need is not validation from them, but compassion from ourselves. The more honest we are with our own role in what we allow, how we interpret, and how we respond, the clearer our visions become. May we be soft enough to feel, wise enough to pause, and humble enough to admit when our own lens needs cleaning. Because real shifa, real healing, isn't proving we are right. It's finding peace even when no one agrees on what happened. This is From Zakham to Shifa. Until we meet again, may Allah grant you the clarity when emotion clouds judgment, gentleness when truth feels sharp, and the courage to repair what can still be healed. Barakallahu fi. Wassalamu alaikum.